Good morning and hello. I'm currently on a morning walk right now. Especially, I just sort of prefer to go around my summer sort of complex, and there's a lot of greenery today, so I somewhat wanted to explore it. This is the greenery, and you can see the tea garden somewhat over there. I'm very bad at maneuvering the front camera, and there are a lot of trees on the pavement. Not the pavement, but on the footpath. It's somewhat nerve wracking to not bump into them. This is sort of, I guess we have already passed the tea garden section, and I don't want to see that tree at the back. You do not want to bump your head right now. Look at the leaves. So many leaves. This can be a nightmare for me because I guess more leaves means more insects, and more insects tends to mean that there will be a lot more, I suppose, insect bites. I'm not sure. Look at the trees at the back. This is, I guess, more of like a quieter place. Pretty, the road's pretty empty. Cannot hear any vehicles anymore. So these are my surroundings. A lot of greenery, as I was trying to say. I am again walking, and I have walked for around 30 minutes. It's a lot. But surprisingly, I'm taking it well because I thought I would be absolutely destroyed by at least 20 minutes. And surprisingly, I'm keeping up pretty well. The trees were right in the middle, and they were curved in all sort of ways. The scenery is looking pretty good. I'll just show you. Hold on. Pretty nice, right? It's so green. You can hear, I guess, bird noises like very distinctively. And kudos to those who know a lot of birds, who know a lot about birds. Not a lot of birds, but I guess it's in the same category, right? I'm somewhat close to my 1 hour walking mark, and have not even, I guess, dropped a sweat, as they say. It's pre-monsoon, and usually in the beginning of the year it's pretty dry. But when there's times like these where it rains heavily, at least the night before, you can see a lot of, I guess, leeches. You can see a lot of snakes, a lot of beetles. You can see a lot of insects, and this area is, I guess, infamous for cobras as well. Any sort of, I guess, lizards or somewhat of snakes, and you can see them more often as it starts to have regular downpour on the area. What do you all usually have, or what do you all usually do after your morning walks? I particularly am someone who tends to enjoy eating a lot of foods after my morning walk. Especially, I guess you can talk about chole bhature, or kachori, or maybe you can even talk about puri and some sort of sabzi on the side. Yes, you don't really feel like doing anything once you go home after your morning walk. You feel like you want to have a leisurely time, sort of sleep it off if you're feeling tired. I hope we all can relate with that. I guess we're turning back now because I have finally reached the destination that I was trying to walk on. But I wish I could show you, but there are, I guess, shadows of mountains behind me. The exposure is absolutely not helping it at all. Does anyone else have struggle like wearing sneakers in the morning for some reason? Currently, I'm wearing, I guess, those sort of shoes where you just put your feet in and it's snug, it's fine. But I am an adamant struggler, if that's a word, a person who struggles a lot with sneakers, particularly laces. And the thing is that for some reason my hands just don't work in the morning. Sometimes the shoelaces come loose, and I've seen a lot of times where I'm walking and I've almost tripped over my laces. It's a recipe for disaster if you want to trip over yourself and fall flat onto the pavement. God, something just fell on my head. I hope nothing's on me. Oh God. It's probably a leaf, but my fear of insects does not relieve that at all. I believe it was an insect. I wish I was recording that time. I was trying to fix the angle or the exposure that it was currently at, and something just felt like a tap on my head. It's pretty rock solid from what I think. I don't think a rock fell on my head that did it. You can also see a lot of, I guess, butterflies right now flying around, particularly the sun. It just crossed over me. I wish I could show you it, but Occasionally, you would feel, I guess, droplets fall on your eyes as well. I don't know why they're falling particularly on my eyes. Oh my god, there's a bullet and hey there, buddy. This buddy like tends to bite a lot though. There we go. It's walking in the crevices of the footpath. I showed you one of my friends that I see daily on a walk. Not daily on a walk, but when I tend to walk. And these little fellas tend to have a very horrendous sting if they bite you by chance. Oh, I can see so many birds flying. Anyways, I get distracted a lot when I'm on these walks, but their sting is so painful. I remember being bit by an ant, but it wasn't particularly a bullet ant. But we all can acknowledge that any red ant has a heinous sting. It hurts a lot. Feels like an electric shock. I wouldn't recommend being bit by these guys because it's pretty bad. There are a lot of leaves. Look, the leaves are flying. I don't know why I'm showing you leaves flying, but fascinated by almost everything. Something hit my leg. Something hit my leg. I don't know. I just saw a black speck like fall on the ground. Could be, I guess, a beetle. I fixed the lighting. I managed to fix it. Now that we're walking, somewhat, it's nearing close to around 8 p.m., 8 a.m., 8 a.m., not 8 p.m. You can see butterflies, I guess. I hope you can see them. They're so minuscule, but you tend to see a lot of butterflies playing around with each other. I don't know if they're playing, but they're fluttering around. Can I mention that I've been walking for roughly, I guess, 2 hours right now? I haven't checked the time. But if you somewhat take the beginning route and you're making your way to the point where I tend to walk, it would be roughly around 7 kilometers. And that's beating down my legs a lot, especially my feet, as I mentioned earlier. Cramps are pretty bad, but now we're on the way back. We're on the way back, like at least halfway now. Talk about how pretty this looks. Here comes the zigzag trees, by the way. The trees, I don't know why they tend to, I guess, portrait in some sort of way. They are always in funny little shapes. They're like orange leaves. I don't know what those are, but pretty fascinating. I haven't seen orange leaves in a while. I have not seen orange leaves at all. I've only seen the dried ones that usually are swept away on the footpath, but I wonder what those are called. You can also see a lot of variation in leaves. There was a bird sound. I was talking over it, so it might be audible in the video, but you can hear a lot of bird noises occasionally. Throughout the day, by the way, it's not always in the morning. You gotta watch my head so I don't bash it into the tree. These guys are everywhere on the footpath, and I'm not complaining. I like trees, except for the ants on them. Scared of ants. These are the varieties of the leaves I was talking about. You can see these ones, well, not the chewed up ones, but these really big ones. There's a lot more to look for. There are more leaves, but you would have to go in the crevices of the forest to show them to you. I was trying to say that when I showed the leaves, that particular part is denser than this part, which is mainly, I guess, fallen leaves and a few lesser trees are there. Let me show you. It's a lot less denser, so I guess you don't see that much variety on the denser parts, and you see more butterflies. It's a lot warmer now that I've almost neared my point of walking and finally stopping. Okay, that's about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.